How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We got another Dokkan Battle video for you here. Today, we have the EZA for the LRGT Spirit Bomb Duo, the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and GT Goku. We got them Rainbow Status Max Links, and we even got their special anniversary equips. Now, like the Z Duo, I'm probably going to end up changing these equips, and when I do, I will put out a hidden potential guide video for them, because there's probably going to be a little change. But for the purposes of the showcase, we will keep their anniversary equips, since this is what everybody's going to have access to thanks to the anniversary battle from last year. So, again, Rainbow Status Max Links, these guys are a little special to me. Number one, they're GT, and I always love me some GT units. All right, but number two, right, as many of you guys know, 8th anniversary was probably our biggest shaft to date, although the two Vegetas this anniversary pushed us pretty close, right? I mean, we didn't pull the Z Duo until the very end of the 8th anniversary, but we did manage to get these guys, actually a couple copies of these guys during that anniversary. So I've always been fond of these guys and their utility. So I'm curious to see how they perform now. So let's take a look at their new passives. So they have attack defense 300%, guard all attacks. When HP is 50% or more, attack defense 100%. Receives an additional key 1 per key sphere obtained as the first attack on the turn, and damage reduction rate 30%, along with critical hit 30% once only. As a second or third attack return, they receive an additional key 2 per key sphere obtained, and once only, damage reduction rate and chance to perform a critical hit 40%. They have a high chance of damage reduction 30% temporarily when receiving a super attack. When receiving an attack once only, they receive a permanent 50% defensive boost, and when attacking with 12 or more key, 150% attack. When attacking with 18 or more key, launches an additional super attack, and with 24 or more key, once only, launches an additional super attack, and launches a additional super attack regularly. For every super attack performed, they get key 2 and damage reduction rate and chance of performing a critical hit 10% up to 50%. Now, at any point, we will be able to enter their standby, because their standby is activated by either falling below 50% HP or receiving 4 or more attacks. Now, they did adjust their super attack effect. Now they are raising attack 70% every turn and raising defense for 4 turns on their 18 key. On their 12 key, they are greatly raising attack, so that's a 50% raise, and greatly raising defense for 1 turn. So they are stacking attack. That's what they do, and that's what makes them fun. So we're going to run them here next to these guys. Now, that is only going to give us 3 links, but it's honestly, like, unfortunately, on their main 220% team, they really don't have a lot of partners. Like, their only other partner we can run here for decent links is the STR Blue Boys and or the Vegeta and Trunks, right? That's going to be our best option for links here. But the reality is, right, they are going to benefit more from having both of your Vegetas on and bumping their attack up even further. So even though we are sacrificing links here, in the end, we benefit greater by having the EX Supers proc on our Vegetas here. So we're going to let the GT Duo attack first. We see we got 500k start a turn here. Nothing crazy there, but again, we do have that extra damage reduction for being in slot 1. And we're coming out the gate with a 30 million attack, and that's pretty nice. That's not a bad start, considering they do stack attack. We're going to get an additional super for 21 million. Remember, we will build up our crit here with each of these super attacks, so that's going to be real good. Excellent. Alrighty. Another one for 24. So we can see how fast it's building, and like, so we are using the baby fight because it's essentially the longest fight that will allow us to stack. It's not necessarily the hardest, but it will allow us to do what we need to do for these guys. And we do get the EX Super, so the more we can get the EX Super with these guys, the more likely it is that we will be able to push their attack even further. And then in the final phase, what we're going to do is we're just going to die. That's the plan. We just let them die. That is the plan. And launch that spirit bomb. We let them die, and we launch that spirit bomb. All right, we get an additional super with Vegeta. Like I said, we just got to make sure that we hit those numbers on the EX supers, because that's going to really put us in the position we want to be in. Now, hopefully, so I talked about this in the Z Duo, right? And of course, the pan is here mostly just for well, for here, she's here for the support, right? On the Z Duo team that we ran, she was there to help change orbs, because obviously they need orbs. But yeah, for here they're good. Now we do want to get if we get it, we great. If we don't, I'm not too concerned. For the transformation for the AGL Goku here, I would like to have a turn where we get him transformed, and we can launch his super attack to buff the Spirit Bomb duo. But I mean, if we don't get it, it's not the end of the world. Vegeta, though, missing that EX Super is kind of irking me. If you guys saw the Z Duo showcase already, you saw that, right? We missed nearly every EX Super. Kind of crazy. So hopefully that doesn't happen here. But we're going to do as much as we can to buff up that Spirit Bomb. So hopefully we can actually get it. With the... I may want to try to push both Gokus onto the final rotation, so we can actually get the extra 80% onto that Spirit Bomb. I think that would be pretty cool. There we go. All right, we get that. We get the attack with Daima Goku. But if we don't, again, it's not the end of the world. And looking at how fast we progress through this, maybe not, because we literally just soloed the next phase. So I really need some extra attacks to be in the final phase there. It's gonna be really hard. So to see, yeah, look at that. We're nowhere where we need to be. For I don't like that. I really don't like that. He's just not attacking enough here. And that didn't drop. Okay, that might work. Okay, yeah, I don't like that. He's not, so hopefully we don't kill here, and there we go, we get another EX Super. So hopefully we don't kill here, and the GT Duo can at least get those hits in. If not, we're gonna need somebody to take some damage, which, I mean, looking at our rotations, might be kind of hard to do. So yeah, I mean, these guys build up defense for 4 turns. We probably should have checked on their defense. We'll do that next turn when they're basically right, because it's on the 18 key for 4 turns, right? This is their with the super they get here on this turn. They are fully built up defensively. So hopefully, there we go. Okay, so they didn't kill. Okay, 41 million. That's not bad for their second turn. All right, so that's a pretty big jump from last turn. Although Gogeta's on right now, giving some support, so that helps. Okay, not bad. Okay, so it doesn't look like we're gonna kill here, which means they'll at least get those 2 hits in. Still not quite where we want to be, but... I mean... Yeah, because what do we need? We need 4 hits in order to proc the... in order to proc the... There we go. 2... Yeah, we need 4 hits in order to proc their standby, which means we need to get 1 more hit in on them in order to have that standby ready for that final turn. The question is, can we? That's the big question. I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to force them into slot 1 on the next turn to ensure that that happens. The only problem with that, well, the next phase is Fizz, so we might actually be okay there. We'll have to see. And there goes the super. All right, but Gogeta should tank it. Yep, perfect. Alright, and let's get that EX Super on our boy here. Hopefully we don't miss this one. So those, you know, those extra attacks do really help us a lot when we actually do proc them. So hopefully we can get it, this one. Oh my goodness, again. Again we missed the EX Super. Alright, well, at least one of our GT Vegetas is getting it. That's actually incredibly frustrating. Alright, at least he stacks up, I guess. But I think next... actually, we probably should have rotated him. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see how this plays out. Yeah, okay, maybe we should have rotated him. We may not get the setup we wanted with the right? Because Goku... Yeah, so Goku double supports these guys. Power of Wishes, and GT Heroes for attack and defense, right? So if we had double Goku, that's 44% attack for him. But it doesn't... I don't think that's going to work the way we want. Okay, so let's switch into him. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work out, but let's just do what we got to do here. We'll try to avoid some orbs, see if that helps us not deal damage here. There goes the super. Yeah, we may not get the setup we specifically want here. But I guess, I mean, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't happen. Yeah, because the other thing, I mean, Goku's active does a lot. And it's entirely possible that we might be able, might actually, with Goku attacking also, we might actually end up killing Baby before launching the Spirit Bomb. So maybe we don't want to put both of them there. Okay, so we get the transformation into Super Saiyan 4 Goku is going to help us a lot. And there we go. Okay, so we got enough attacks there to put him slot 1. We are fully built up key-wise, so we're always going to get our 24 key. But so we have 1.5 mil defense there, right? They don't build defense, right? Other than that 4-turn stacking. So, right, but we do have 50% damage reduction with that. So, not the craziest, but in slot 2, it'll get the job done. In slot 2, it'll get the job done, which is kind of all you needed to do. Alright, so there we go. Alright, and then next turn we will be able to stand by. There we go. A little bit of dodge in there, too. So 52 million on this one. But we're building up pretty decently. Alright, not bad, not bad. Now, they do only have a 50% crit. And on their standby, they actually don't have any crit at all. And we'll see that when we decide to stand by them. They don't have any crit at all. So I do have mine with a full crit build. And I might consider pushing that further with the Whis equips. So we'll see. There we go. So the Vegeta on this rotation is proccing that EX Super. It's the other one that's not. Yeah. And looking at the damage that this turn is doing and what the next turn is going to do, especially if Goku, actually, even if Goku doesn't proc his EX Super, we're probably going to kill the next turn. So it's, yeah, we're just going to have to roll with what we got here in terms of offense and support. While it would be nice to have the double Goku support here, it is what it is. We should have rotated the Vegeta sooner. But then again, if we did, looking at the rotations, we may not... Well, actually, if we active skilled it, we could kill the Fizz phase. But yeah, looking at the damage here, the next turn is definitely going to kill, especially if Daima Goku gets his 3 supers off. So yeah, we'll just have to roll with one GT Duo support, or yeah, one in GT Duo support and Pan Sport. That'll have to do. Okay, now hopefully, Oh, really? That's what we're doing here?
I won't lose.
Alright, there we go. That's what we needed to do. Okay, so let's see if... Yeah, so that way we can get another EX Super here. And really, that's the play here. That's the play we're going for here. Okay, hang on. We're going to reset that. All right, so we reset the app here. Maybe if we... What if we just let Goku attack first? Get his EX Super. There we go. And then now we just pray that that's enough to kill between the three. Should be. And then, of course, he doesn't get the EX Super. Of course he doesn't. Of course he doesn't get the EX Super. Okay, but he does at least. And he doesn't even get the triple super either, so that actually ruined everything. So actually, we actually could have switched Vegeta off. Well, I don't know. It depends on how much Gogeta does. But I think since we didn't proc the EX Super, we could have switched Vegeta off. Because we're going to have to go into this next rotation in order to let the, in order to kill. So we could have switched to Vegeta off and got the double super. That's lame. Or double active skill, rather. Because, yeah, I don't think Gogeta's going to kill here. Well, actually, maybe we might if we get that, if we get the counter. We actually might. Like 69 million. Because what is baby's HP here? Okay, actually we might. Maybe I might have overestimated baby here. 500 million. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he might actually kill here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's what it is. Okay. All right. So we should be able to stand by the GT duo here. Yes, we can. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to switch into Goku. We're going to use Goku's active, but not while the... Well, actually, okay, here's what we'll do. Actually, yeah, I kind of want to do that because, all right, okay. So here's what we're going to do. So you can see the effect of the Spirit Bomb. We're going to do two things. We're going to use the Spirit Bomb. We're going to use the Spirit Bomb, and then we're going to swap into Goku and do Goku's active, right? So we're going to use the standby and use Goku's active. So you can see the difference between using it and not using it, right? And we'll see. You can see how much damage, like how much that 100% that he actually gives. So let's go ahead. Let's use the Spirit Bomb here. Okay, so we're in our mode here. Okay, now and then we're going to drop this here. Okay, so while they're in standby here, right? While they're in standby, right? They have 300% attack. They're giving allies 110%, and 11 key, right? 11 key. I want you to understand how important that is for Daima Goku, by the way, because we're going to be using them a lot together. But here, right, attacks effective against all types, launches an additional super attack, defense 150% with 50% or more, and when the character or ally in the same turn is KO'd, we revive with HP fully recovered when attacking 50% attack, and when the finished skill effect is 100% extra attack. So we're going to show you Goku's damage, right, with this here. We've got pretty much everything here except for Saiyan Roar and Shocking Speed. So let's do the active skill so you can see. So, well, we didn't crit, so we did about a bar here. So hang on, we're gonna reset here and then come back, and we'll see the difference between using it and not using it. Maybe we won't crit, and we get to see the difference here. All right, so we switch back here into Goku, no standby. So we're gonna use Goku's active though now. See the difference. So okay, so yeah, it's a pretty significant difference there, right? In terms of damage without the crit. So I was actually hoping we wouldn't crit, so we could actually see the difference, right? So you can see how much difference that extra percent makes. So let's go ahead. Let's turn the animations back on here for this. And then let's go ahead and let's stand by the GT duo.
Please, everyone, lend me your energy. I can't die. Not yet.
Darn it! Please, Kakarot! I need your power! You guys... Up!
Alrighty, so we can see here, while in standby, right, we have 600k defense. So the only thing is, I'm not sure where that's, I'm not sure where the super is here, right? We don't have anything to identify the super, but we should die to baby's normals because we're not going to get anything. So, you know, after we attack, we do massively raise our attack and defense for 4 turns, but I don't think it shouldn't be enough for us to survive a baby normal. And theoretically, right, baby can super 3 times, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put the GT duo in slot 2 here, in slot 1 here, right? And we'll just let him die, and let's see what we get here. And then we'll go with Goku because we still have the other rotation here, and then Goku's still gonna get all his buffs here. So we'll just let him die here. But I mean, you can see the attack is pretty significant. So let's do this. Let's see what happens when we die. There we go. Perfect. And then now let's revive.
You haven't won yet!
I can't die just yet. Not until I'm done with you. Citizens of the universe, give me all your energy! Thank you, everyone! This is it!
Not bad. Okay, so we did about a third of his HP with that. And so, right, baby has 900 million HP, so essentially 300 million with that. I mean, more or less. It's hard to say exactly. But I guess that kind of makes sense here, because for those that aren't aware, they definitely made the GT Duo a little bit weaker for most regular events in terms of their Spirit Bomb, but of course the trade-off is, right, they have still a ton of utility through their revive. If you watch our Z Duo showcase, you see we did nearly 2/3 of baby's health here. Essentially about 600 to 700 million is what we did with the Z Duo, and it's easier to build up their bomb because it's based on orbs, right? Whereas with the GT Duo, right, it comes down to how many additional attacks you do and how long the fight is, right? And this baby fight is only so long, so we can only do so much. So let's turn animations back off and let's just actually go ahead and wrap this up. So let's start with Goku here. Let's use his active. All right. Oh, excellent. Let's do Daimagoku's active now. Excellent. Okay. And then now let's do that for the opening turn. So he should be able to tank this on this turn. And then we'll grab that with Daimagoku. And then we'll send off the AGL Goku for the final turn here. Perfect. Yeah, so we're probably going to get a double super here. There's one. Yeah. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so we'll probably just get the 1, but that's okay. Goku might dodge this, or he should be able to tank it on this turn. Yep, he does tank it. 100 million. Excellent. And so between him and Goku, we should wrap up the rest of this against the baby. Another super with Goku. Excellent. Yeah, so yeah, their access skill doesn't hit as hard as I would like it to. But again, like if we have a longer fight, right? If the new Red Zone Kais do give us much longer fights, then obviously their Spirit Bomb is going to end up being more impactful than the Z duos, right? Like you think even in Festival, right? Their Spirit Bomb will be more impactful than the Z duos. Because you're not limited to the orbs, right? Whereas, like, with the Z Duo's orbs, really? Dude, missed every... how many EX Supers did he get? You're actually going to do this to us, aren't you? You're actually going to make us, like, die here because... Okay. Anyways, yeah, so, like, you know, in Festival, they're going to do a lot better with their bomb than the Z-Duo will. But the Z-Duo will be much more impactful in these medium fights where you can manage the orbs a little bit better with orb changers. Okay, actually, we might be okay here. So here comes the next super here. We actually might be okay here. All right, and then 79 million here. So if Goku doesn't kill, we got Gogeta on the next turn. That'll do it. There we go. Perfect. Alrighty, so there goes the GT Spirit Bomb duo. I really do like them. I think they're still going to be pretty good, right? Even if the Spirit Bomb isn't hitting that crazy hard. I mean, I still think 300 million there is still pretty good, right? That's still a good amount. But I do think I would prefer to see a little more oomph out of it. So I definitely want to try out some other longer events where I can really push that. It also doesn't help that I didn't get, right, we didn't get the double Goku turn like I wanted, which would have been really nice for that extra 44%, but still pretty good. Again, where the Z Duo always came in, or the GZ Duo, where they always came in handy was through their utility and support. 110 attack support is nothing to scoff at, right? And we're actually going to enjoy more, not necessarily using their bomb for big damage, but using their support to give other units big damage, right? Like that standby giving key 11 and 110 support. I gotta test them doing that for Diamond Goku because that's gonna be insane for him, right? Especially on his active turn. So either way, still very good unit. I think they knocked it out of the park with these EZAs for the year 8s. So guys, that is it for the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, what do you think of the year 8 GT Duo EZA? I think they're pretty awesome, but I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching and aloha.